Hi, this is George Mindshine with the ACTAR Test Prep Group. This is tutorial number 4. I have cut out the scale template vehicles and located them at the final rest positions on my diagram. I removed the transparent grid and I added on a line from my north-south axis and my east-west axis. I just bumped my scale gallant out of whack. But anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the push pin. I am going to locate the four corners of the vehicle, the axles, and the center of gravity of each one in its final rest position. You can see that if you look closely, you can see the push pin holes for the final rest positions do not line up exactly, precisely with where I have my axles placed. And there's also a mark that goes to the middle of the right side of the F-150. In this particular crash test, the Mitsubishi Galant broadsided the passenger side of the F-150, and it knocked the right rear wheel completely off of the F-150. So the running board, I think, on the right side of the F-150 was dragging along the ground, and that's what made the one mark all the way back to the point of impact. It's not actually from a tire, it's from the running board or a piece of the undercarriage, something like that. Also take note that my cutouts or my templates are quite a bit larger than the vehicles themselves. When I took the test, I made the cutouts exactly precisely the same size as the vehicle, and in retrospect, that was a mistake. It didn't cost me the test, but it made for fumbling around, it's just not so handy to move the little tiny scale cars, and it would have been more convenient if I had made my cutouts larger. So keep that in mind. There's absolutely nothing to be gained from making the scale templates the exact same size as the vehicles themselves. All right, let me. I'm going to mark the final rest positions and the corresponding center of gravities, and then I'll start tracking center of gravity of each vehicle back toward the point of impact, or the point of separation, because that's really where we're concerned about finding the departure angles. All right, thanks a lot. This will be continued in a minute. One thing I did notice when using the push pins to mark the outside four corners of the vehicle was to keep it from moving around. I actually used two push pins just to hold the template in place, and then a third push pin to peg the rest of the positions while the first two were holding it in place. Just a little tip to help make things easier. Okay, using the holes I marked with the push pins, I've drawn the F-150 in its final rest position. Same thing for the Mitsubishi Galant. Now I'll start using my templates to track backwards toward the area of impact for both of these. I do see now that using this particular crash test, it was from the the Nebraska 2012 conference, I guess one of their conferences, and I think actually this crash test was done in a field or in dirt, not on asphalt for sure. So the tire marks, I think, are maybe not as good as they would be had the crash test been conducted on asphalt, and certainly there are some missing areas that I'm going to have to, interpolate in between to get at least the F-150 position of the center of gravity working backwards for sure. Also, in this particular crash test, where the Galant came to rest was slammed up against a tree that was in the field, so the passenger side of the Galant took a good hit as well. So this certainly would not be the ideal practice problem for the part 2 of the ACTAR test, but at least for determining departure angles and tracking our center of gravities along the trajectories. I think this should at least illustrate that. Okay, I've tracked the Gallant backwards from its final rest position, and I've made a pushpin trail of the center of gravity all the way back to where it's currently sitting, and that's I'm kind of liking that as the point where the vehicles separate. Maybe back a little bit further would be maximum engagement, let's say. And I haven't marked the CG of the F-150 at all yet, but I don't think I have to go back any further with the Gallant CG. So I'm gonna call that my my point of separation, let's say. Okay, so after marking the CG path back to the area of impact for the Gallant, it looks like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 points from max engagement or separation out, they make a pretty straight line. Then after the 4th or 5th point, it starts to deviate a bit. So I like that for my departure angle for the Gallant. The F-150, of course, I wish I had better tire marks to lay my my scale template on. The first couple of points give me the line that you see here. I drew in pencil. That's through the first 2 points, if it would focus for you. Those are here and here. Then it deviates a bit. Then I plotted another point, much further down the path that really fell in line with the other ones nicely. But I'm afraid that's too late. So I didn't want to draw my line over there. So I'm going to go with these two, the first two in line. I'd have been much happier if I had more tire marks to track the path of the vehicle. But for this particular example, I apologize for not having a better sample problem. But I do like the path I got from the Gallant. All right, that's it for now. Thanks a lot.